And I'm going to come back to that. I just want to explain it to you. So I don't want you writing right now. I want you to hear the distinction. I'm very interested in ideas that can increase productivity. Because there's a lot of things I want to accomplish in my life. There's only so much time in the day. So there's high value for me if I can become more productive. So I'm always looking at different time management ideas. And so I started thinking, well, what is planning? If I was going to plan Monday, what is planning? And to me, planning is the series of asking and answering questions in writing. If you think about it, if you were going to plan something right now, plan a wedding, plan an event, plan your next business day, what would you do? You'd ask questions. Like planning Monday, you'd ask, well, what appointments do I have? Who do I need to follow up with? You know, what must I accomplish today? And so if you agree with that, if planning is asking and answering questions in writing, to me it makes sense to create a list of questions to ask yourself to plan an optimum day. So now when you go to plan Monday, you don't have to look at a blank piece of paper and figure out what questions to ask. You've already decided in advance what are the questions you're going to ask. Now, one reason why this is so powerful, part of the purpose of your mind is to answer virtually any question you ask yourself. So if you say, what are my appointments for today? Your brain will answer it. So if you have all your key questions already in advance, you'll activate your mind just by asking the questions. So step number one here, create a list of questions to plan an optimum day. Jennifer, I'm going to have to do a couple more photos. Alright, thanks. You can do some short video too if you feel like it. Create a list of questions to plan an optimum day. Step number two is we're going to spend 14 minutes planning. Does anybody here in the room know the significance of 14 minutes as it relates to a day?
If I don't start it in the morning, I missed my whole day. If I don't do my 10 minutes planning for my rest of the day.
Okay. I'll give you the significance. There's a number of significance to 14 minutes.
Not more than a quarter of an hour.
Not quite a quarter of an hour. You're correct. That's not what I was looking for, but you're correct. Here's the math. 24 hours times 60 minutes is 1,440 minutes. So in a day, there's 1,440 minutes. 1440. 14 minutes as it relates to 1440, 1%. So here's the distinction. Take 1% of your day and plan. I learned that from Napoleon Hill, who wrote a book with W. Clement Stone on positive mental attitude. Napoleon Hill is also behind Think and Grow Rich. I read the 300-page book. I got one idea. 14 minutes, 1% of your day. You'll never forget that. 14, 40, 70 minutes a day. To me, it makes sense. Take 1% of my day and plan. Does that make sense? Okay. So here's the numbers on this. This is just like a general rule of thumb. 1 minute of planning produces 4 minutes of result. 1 minute of planning produces 4 minutes of result. So 4 times 14 minutes is 56 minutes, which is about what? It's about an hour. So 14 minutes of planning a day is about an hour. So if you actually did this, if you spent 14 minutes a day planning following my system, you're going to be, I believe, about an extra hour productive every business day for the rest of your life. All right, so after we spend the time planning, or you can actually do this within the 14 minutes, we're going to apply the 80-20 rule to your action items. I'm going to show you about the 80-20 rule. We'll come back to this slide in a second. This is a huge distinction, one of the most important distinctions we've covered so far. The 80-20 rule is applicable to time management. And here's what this means. Here's your to-do list for the day. Make a list. Let's say this day you end up with 10 items. This equals that. In other words, the completion of your top 2 ideas are equal in value to the bottom 8 combined for your list. Not all ideas are created equal. This is a conversation about prioritizing. And this is very, very Time management is about time choices. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at all the things you need to get done for your day, and the filter that you're going to look through, maybe we could just go see if they can shut their door. That'll be or tell them to wait until our seminar's done. You make your list. Here's the lens that you're going to look through. Of all the ideas, what's going to create the most value? Of all the ideas, what is going to create the most value? When you sort the list based on value, you'll find the two ideas that when completed will create the most value. And if you'll consistently focus on the ideas that will create the most value, it'll transform your life. The completion of those two ideas are equal in value to the bottom 8 combined. Why this is so important? If you're like me, you rarely get everything on your list done every day. Anybody else out there like me? So here's the thing. If you're not going to get everything done, that's my life most days, get done the things that are going to create the most value. And really what shifted from the time I was a cook at McDonald's to where I am now is I started spending time on things that create more value. And my highest valued activity right now is duplicating myself in 100 trainers and 100 foam pros. Because now once I've done that, it's interesting. I've allowed myself to daydream about what my life looks like with 100 trainers and 100 foam pros. Then all of a sudden, it pulls me out of the equation. It's like, well, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? I don't have to go do all the stuff that I normally do. Now I get to choose. So you can look at things that can create more freedom for yourself, more time freedom, more financial freedom through this distinction of leverage. Okay, so back to the system. The 80-20 rule is applicable to your action items. You're going to pick the top 2 ideas that when implemented will create what? The most value. That's the lens I want you to start looking through. What, when implemented, will create the most value? So we're going to, instead of me just talking, we're going to actually do something right now. You can do it in your chairs. It's super simple thing. May create a breakthrough for you. What we're going to do, these are several of my questions that are on my list. So I'll just read them out loud to you. What level am I committed to playing at today? And that's on a scale of 1 to 10. I always answer 10. It's a mindset question to put me in the mindset of giving my best effort today.